안녕하세요, 안녕하세요, it's Natalia, and if you don't know me, hi. I have been learning Korean for over 8 years now. I am advanced in the language and I live here in Seoul, South Korea, so those are my credentials. If you're like, who is this girl and why is she qualified to give me advice on how to learn Korean? That is why. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. But yeah, let's talk about how you can practice speaking Korean without being in Korea or without like the help of a Korean speaker, because I have a feeling a lot of you are trying to avoid talking to somebody. Anyway, let's jump into it. Number one, I want you to ask yourself questions in Korean and then actually answer them, okay? Oh my god, this chair is squeaky. Listen, I know you guys might have been like, okay, like Natalia, I do that all the time, so what else you got? Like, give me something else, because so far this video is, no. Slow down, okay? Slow down. When I say I want you to ask yourself questions, I don't mean I want you to read the questions that are in your textbook or the questions that are asked in that YouTube video that you're watching. I want you to come up with your own challenging questions, whatever that means to you. If you're a beginner, obviously, challenging to you could be a baby sentence. If you're intermediate, challenging is something very different from a baby sentence, okay? But like the goal is to practice getting your thoughts together, organizing them in Korean, and then coming out with a sentence that uses the grammar and the words you know to express that thought, because that's what you have to do when you're speaking. You have to organize your thoughts and then say them in the way that you can, the way you know how, with the limited grammar and words that you have. And if you find that you're getting stuck, or like you have like things that you want to say or that you want to ask but they're just not coming out, just write them down first. Like, it's okay to organize your thoughts on paper and then ask the question, and then maybe write out the response to the question, because maybe you don't know the words, or maybe you need to go back and review a grammar point that you learned, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 months ago, and figure out how to incorporate it into your response, because, you know, it's a little rusty. Like, even for me as an advanced learner, there are times where I write out questions because my brain cannot like string all this information together because it's something I've never asked before. So I don't really see any issues with having to write it out first. Like, if you write it out, the next time you won't have to write it out. Number two, I want you to start reading and writing in Korean more frequently. Like, I know that might sound kind of counterintuitive because we're talking about speaking Korean, but I have found from my many years of language learning, before I ever start using a new grammar point or a new word in my speaking, in my conversations, one, not only had an immense amount of exposure to that word, whether it's people are saying it, whether I'm reading it somewhere like on the news, and then two, I start using it in my writing before it ever starts like showing up in my speaking. When I started working at my job, like I work in marketing here, and there were so many like office and like business related words that I didn't know, because like they don't teach you that stuff in language school. Honestly, it sounds kind of ridiculous that you would think that they would teach you practical content like that. No, they did not. So I had to learn it on the job. I found that like before I started using all these new like office related vocab and like formal grammar structures in my speaking and in my meetings and whatnot, I first was exposed to them a lot through my coworkers using them, seeing them in emails, for example, and then I gradually started using them myself in my own emails and my own chat messages, and then naturally they started appearing more and more as I was like speaking Korean randomly, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is that like reading a lot of Korean content or watching a lot of Korean content and like practicing your writing skills in Korean, it does affect your speaking. So I know like as a beginner or as an intermediate learner, this can be hard to find like content that is at your level, but like honestly, anything that you enjoy that has Korean captions on it, like if it's, you know, TV or something, can help you. Like obviously there are gonna be some resources that are a lot more helpful than others, like depending on like where your Korean proficiency is, and like that's a video for a whole nother time. But like just find something that you enjoy and like just binge watch that content or like read all of that content. And then when it comes to writing, like, yes, you can definitely do the writing prompts that are like in your textbook. It's not going to be easy and it might not be fun. If you don't have a textbook or you don't want to do those like writing exercises, like just keep a diary. Like it doesn't have to be something that's like super deep, you know? You don't have to write all of your emotions in this diary. Like it can just be something simple, just something that like you can use to help you practice, again, organizing your thoughts in Korean. It's okay for it to be hard. Like it's going to be hard. If it's not hard, then like, baby, you must be fluent already. Because like, now if you're someone that is looking for a new resource to help you, oh my God, this chair. Oh, this is, I'm sorry, this must be really annoying. If you are someone that is looking for a new study resource to help you get some natural exposure to Korean at the beginner level, a resource that isn't gonna give you like awkwardly phrased Korean to make sentences beginner friendly, then I would like to recommend Story Learning. Now, full disclosure, Story Learning is the sponsor of today's video, but that does not change the fact that their courses are really, really good. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about Story Learning before, it is a language learning platform that helps you learn languages through stories, through context, and today we're going to talk about their beginner course. Every lesson starts off with you immersing yourself in Korean, and then you go on it to understand that Korean through pre-recorded lessons with a native speaker, and then of course you go on to practice what you have learned through different activities. So the beginner course specifically has 20 chapters. Each chapter is made up of 6 lessons, which could be grammar, vocab, pronunciation, particles, etc, etc, etc. So it's a lot of content in just that first beginner 1 level. Now, if you're someone that has been studying Korean for a while, but you're still at the beginner level, don't sleep on this course thinking it might be too easy, because I think, like, honest to God, like Scout's honor, Girl Scout honor, I guess. These courses are definitely on the more challenging side of all the courses that I've seen, because like as a language learning YouTuber, companies reach out a lot. I always look at their beginner courses because the majority of you guys, of my viewers, are beginners. So I look at them and I'm gonna tell you something that's honestly a little embarrassing right now. But the first time I looked at the Story Learning course for beginner 1, there was some stuff that I learned because I didn't know them. Like I was like, oh, I remember thinking like, is this really like for beginners? Because I'm learning some things right now and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. Having said that, if you want to try out the course for yourself, you can use the link in my description box. Story Learning is offering you guys the course at $110, which is a big discount because the usual price is $297. So if you've been thinking about checking it out, use the link in my description. Limited time only, $110. The course is yours for forever, basically. And yeah, you can go see if like I should be embarrassed about the fact that I didn't know some of this stuff in the course. Honestly, I feel like I shouldn't have shared that because that's honestly hurting my credibility right now. But yeah, I'm gonna let you marinate on that and let's talk more about how you can practice your speaking all by yourself. Number 3 is to become a parrot. Okay, I want you to mimic everything. Okay, maybe not everything, but anytime you feel like, oh, I know what this person is saying, but like I could never say that myself, because like, same, that happens to me too. So my favorite way to combat this is just to repeat those sentences over and over and over and over and over again until I can get, this is very serious, until I can get the grammar, the intonation, the speed down. Like I want to sound like a native Korean speaker when I say this one sentence. I mean, ideally, I want to sound like a Korean speaker all the time, but like, I'm gonna repeat it over and over and over again. Like, I love it when I'm scrolling through Instagram and like this Korean content shows up on my feed that I can understand, but can't necessarily like speak myself, or I would never think to express an idea in that way. So an example, a recent example would be like the Jungkook and Jimin content that keeps showing up on my For You page right now because they just came out with that like 이게 맞아 variety show TV thing. Like, if you're an ARMY, you know what I mean, what this clip I'm about to talk about. If you're not ARMY, just bear with me, okay? It'll make sense. So, Jimin and Jungkook are sitting in a restaurant and like Jungkook is so fixated on the people next to them at the restaurant because they ordered something and he wants to figure out what it is so he can order it too. And he keeps going like, 그거 뭘까? 그거 뭐지? 저기 뭐지? And like, he's so fixated that Jimin eventually says to him, like, go over there and ask them for a bite. But obviously he says it in Korean. He says like, 가서 한 입 달라고 해, or something like that. And I kid you not, I have watched this clip on loop so many times just so I can repeat Jimin and figure out exactly what he's saying. Because like the grammar, 달라, or like 달라고, is level 3 grammar. It's intermediate grammar. However, I never use that grammar myself. Never. Like, I understand it when people say it and when they use it, but I struggle to implement it myself. Like, even to this day, I know myself. So when I heard Jimin use it, I was like, my man. And I just sat there. Honestly, every time it comes up, I just sit there and I watch it on a loop. And I wait for Jimin to go, 가서 한 입 달라고 해. And then I say, 가서 한 입 달라고 해. Now, if you are someone that is not into like K-pop, or if like Korean content just isn't showing up on your feed, I would like to give you a recommendation. So there is this creator that you may or may not have already seen. Her username is Shuhee, okay? Shuhee. Her Korean, oh my God, her Korean is so amazing. Like, she's Korean, but like her Korean is so clear. Like, I want to sound like her when I speak Korean. but I'm gonna show you like a clip, and I want you to like, basically what I'll do is you see this content, you just repeat after her, right? So
내 연애사를 쭉 돌아보면서
Look at
내가
this.
느꼈 첫 번째는 만나고 만나도 이상하리만큼 나다운 모습이 나오지 않는다.
예를 들면 나는 말도 많고 정말 재밌는 사람인데 그 사람이랑만 있으면 장난기도 없어지고 말도 없어진다.
두 번째는 정말 대화를 안간힘을 쓰면서 노력을 해야지만 대화가 이어지는 기분이 든다. 세 번째, 이
So,
관계의 미래가
like, as you probably noticed, she has won the Korean CCs, which make it so easy for us to like read along, mimic, repeat after her, because we know exactly what she's saying. And two, she puts like English translations on there. So like you actually know what you're saying if you are someone who's like at a lower level. So there's quite a few creators I love to just like sit there and mimic, so like to improve my Korean. I will link them for you in the description box because I don't want to waste your time just like showing you their content right here, being like, look, oh my god. But I love her. I love her content. So 짱이다 진짜. Number 4 is to act like you are an influencer. Like if you are an intermediate learner, this is specifically for you. Intermediate or advanced, because for my beginners, I think this would be a little too hard for you, sorry. But like, pretend you're an influencer. Like, okay, lip tint. If I wanted to review this lip tint in Korean, I wouldn't be able to do it. Why? I don't have the vocab for this. I don't know how like Korean influencers talk about like pigment or wear or texture or like the scent. Like this is a really nice lip tint, but like it's sticky. I don't know the word sticky. Like I should know the word sticky. I don't. So like if you were to act like an influencer, because like monologues are hard. In foreign languages especially, monologues are really, really hard. They really, really challenge you to like, not only organize your thoughts in a way that makes sense, because there's no one there to be like, oh, do you mean this? Oh yeah, so you mean that? There's no one there to do that. One, also you're by yourself. But like, it really forces you to use what you know, figure out what you don't know, compensate for it, or like if you want to really, really get good at talking about a certain topic, you can go and find those influencers that are giving makeup reviews on lip tints, or like those influencers that are talking about how to make different recipes. If that's something you want to be able to talk about, go find those influencers. Go find those influencers, repeat what they're saying, use what they're saying to like write out what you would say if you were the influencer. Do that. Pretend you're an influencer. Try to give a review on something that you care about. Number 5 is to pick fights with your favorite idols. Like you guys always find it so funny when I say that like ever since I was an intermediate learner, I have been picking fights with BTS daily, both in my mind and out loud. But like, it's something that has sincerely just helped me a lot, like improve my speed, especially when speaking Korean. Like, and if you're wondering like, Natalia, why would you pick fights with your favorite idols? It's my love language. In my family, we pick fights to show that we care. It doesn't have to make sense to you. I'm just saying like, it is something that has sincerely helped me improve my Korean a lot. So like if I'm watching BTS on like Run BTS and like, let's say Namjoon breaks something because he breaks everything, I will literally sit there and be like, 아, 너 맨날 이래. 너 이거 저거 항상 깨지는 거야. 조심해야 되지. 다칠 거야. Like literally I will sit there and I will scold them. Or like, oh my God, I will literally be walking down the street here in Korea, listening to music, and I will just have a situation running in my head with BTS, and suddenly I am scolding one of the members for something, and it'll even show up on my face. Like I'll be walking, I'll be like, I'm not saying it's like the most healthy habit to have, or that you won't freak people out when you do it, especially if you do it out loud like I do when I'm here at home. Suddenly my neighbors will hear me be like, 아, 너 맨날 이래. But like, my Korean's gotten a lot better because of it. Because I'm always having a conversation with somebody in my head or out loud. So yeah, that is how you can go about practicing Korean all by yourself. So don't forget that you can check out the Korean Uncovered course from Story Learning. With the link in my description box, you can get that discount price, that discount offer. Yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know I got really passionate at some points and maybe a little too passionate. I'm sorry my chair kept on squeaking, but I'm like, it is what it is. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So 다음에 봐요, guys. Bye.